Generations of computers. Generation in computer technology is a change in technology a computer is or was being used. Initially, the generation term was used to distinguish between varying hardware technologies. Nowadays, generation includes both hardware and software, which together make up an entire computer system. So, these are 5 computer generations. First generation computers. The period of first generation was from 1946 to 1959. So, the computers of first generation used vacuum tubes as the basic components for memory and circuitry for CPU or Central Processing Unit. These tubes, like electric bulbs, produced a lot of heat and the installation used to fuse frequently. Therefore, they were very expensive and only large organizations were able to afford it. In this generation, mainly batch processing operating system was used. Punch cards, paper tape, and magnetic tape was used as input and output devices. The computers in this generation was used machine code as the programming language. So ito yung mga main features na first generation. Vacuum tube technology, unreliable, supported machine language only, very costly, generates lot of heat, slow input and output devices, huge size, need of AC or active current, non-portable, consumes lot of electricity. So, some computers of this generation were ENIAC or ENIAC, EDVAC, UNIVAC or UNIVAC, IBM-701, IBM-750. So, yun yung first generation. So, pupunta tayo sa second generation computers. So, ang second generation computers ay the period of second generation was from 1959 to 1965. So, in this generation, transistors were used that were cheaper, consumed less power, more compact in size, more reliable, and faster than the first generation machines made of vacuum tubes. In this generation, magnetic cores were used as the primary memory and magnetic tape and magnetic disk as secondary storage devices. So in this generation, assembly language and highly level programming languages like Fortran, COBOL were used. So the computers used batch processing and multi-programming operating system. So ito naman yung main features ng second generation. So use of transistors, reliable in comparison to first generation computers, smaller size as compared to first generation computers, generates less heat and compared to first generation computers, consumed less electricity as compared to first generation computers. So, faster than first generation computer. So, siyempre, mas malakas siya sa first generation computers. Still very costly. Magastos pa rin mga kaibigan. AC required. Required pa niya ng AC or active current. Supported machine and assembly languages. So, some computers of this generation were IBM 1620, IBM 7094, CDC 1604, CDC 3600, and UNIVAC 1108. So, third generation computers. The period of third generation was from 1965 to 1971. So, the computers of third generation used integrated circuits or ICs in place of transistors. A single IC has many transistors, resistors, and capacitors, along with the associated circuitry. The IC was invented by Jack Kilby. This development made computers smaller in size, reliable, and efficient. In this generation, remote processing, time sharing, multi-programming, operating system were used. High-level languages, Fortran 2 to IV, COBOL, Pascal, PL/1, BASIC, Algol-68, etc. were used during this generation. So, ito na naman yung features ng third generation, mga kaibigan. IC used, alam nyo naman siguro yung IC. So, nabasa na natin before. So, balik nyo lang. So, more reliable in comparison to previous two generations. Smaller size generated less heat, faster. So, lesser maintenance, costly. So, magastos pa rin. AC required, consumed lesser electricity, supported high-level language. Some computers of this generation were IBM-360 series, Honeywell 6000 series, PDP or Personal Data Processor, IBM-370/168, and TDC-316. So, fourth generation computers. The period of fourth generation was from 1971 to 1980. Computers of fourth generation used very large scale integrated or VLSI circuits. So, ang VLSI circuits having about 5,000 transistors and other circuit elements with their associated circuits on a single chip made it possible to have microcomputers of fourth generation. Fourth generation computers became more powerful, compact, reliable, and affordable. As a result, it gave rise to personal computer or PC revolution. In this generation, time sharing, real-time networks, distributed operating system were used. All the level languages like C, C++, database, etc. were used in this generation. So, ito yung main features ng fourth generation. VLSI technology used, very cheap, portable and reliable. Use of PCs or personal computers, very small size, pipeline processing, no AC required, hindi niya kailangan ng active current. Concept of internet was introduced. Great developments in the fields of networks. Computers became easily available. So some computers of this generation were DES 10, Star 1000, PDP 11, Cray-1 or supercomputer, Cray-X-MP or supercomputer. So, ito na ang fifth generation computers. The period of fifth generation is 1980 till date. In the fifth generation, VLSI technology became ULSI or ultra large scale integration technology resulting in the production of processor chips having 10 million electronic components. So this generation is based on parallel processing hardware and AR or artificial intelligence software. AI is an emerging branch in computer science which interprets the means and method of making computers think like human beings. All the high-level languages like C and C++, Java, Net, etc. are used in this generation. So ito yung main features ng 5th generation. ULSI technology, development of true artificial intelligence, development of natural language processing, advancement in parallel processing, advancement in superconductor technology, more user-friendly interfaces with multimedia features, availability of very powerful and compact computers at cheaper rates. Some computer types of this generation are desktop, laptop, notebook, ultrabook, and Chromebook. So those are the 5 generation of computers, mga kaibigan. Sana nakabigay ako ng tulong sa inyo sa nag-aaral kayo. Maraming salamat sa inyong panonood. Subscribe mo na lang yan at paki-like para sa susunod ko ng mga video ay ma-updated ka para sa more lessons natin. Kung hindi ka makasubscribe dahil wala ka pang YouTube channel o wala kang Gmail account, maglalagay ako ng link sa description box na paano gumawa ng YouTube channel. So maraming salamat. Bye-bye.